Ever wanted to know what it's like to be a part of London Spitfire? We caught up with the team to find out. If you didn't understand esports, you'd think that being a part of London Spitfire would be just playing games all day. But we all know better. Professional esports means playing at a world-beating level all day, every day. We caught up with the Overwatch team on their recent trip to London to find out exactly what happens on a day-to-day basis. From practice to mental preparation and superstitious rituals, here's what it's like to be a part of London Spitfire. First up is practice. Gesture breaks down exactly how long the team train, and it's no walk, well, play in the park.
보통 한 주로 말하기보다 I think per day we have about 6 hours of scrims, 2 hours of gameplay review of the scrims, and the rest of it is individual play. So I guess from day to day we play at least like 6 to maximum of 10 hours of Overwatch, and we normally take Sundays off, like just one day off per week. I think the best way that we get most efficiency out of our practice is that during the scrim review time, we talk to our teammates about what went wrong during that day in certain practices and how we can fix them moving forward and make sure that everyone is on the same page every night. 제일 효율적인 것 같아요.
For Padorin, it's all about keeping things separate and only focusing on one task at once to make sure everyone is as productive as possible.
피곤해질 때까지 게임을 하는 스타일인데
I think the most important thing is to maintain a good habit and an efficient practice schedule. When you practice, you practice. When you relax, you relax. When you're exhausted, you sleep.
이렇게 하는 스타일입니다.
When it comes to match day preparation, making sure everyone is in peak condition is a full-time job, says Gesture, and it's about your body as well as your mind. So no all-nighters then.
So before match days, it's really important to be able to, maintain your peak physical condition as well as your mental condition. So we make sure that everyone goes to sleep at night at the right times before the match, and that nobody gets sick over the course of the season, trying to keep up with immunity and stuff. Mentally speaking, I think generally, we just try to make sure that everyone has a sharp mindset going into the games, because this is not an individual game, it's a team game.
Nos has his own ways of dealing with the stress of tournaments.
일단 저 같은 경우는 I'm the kind of individual that worries a lot more than a lot of other people. So on match days, for example, if we have like a set time to get up by, then I like to get up a couple hours before that and just try to warm up ahead of time before everyone else, try to, offload my worries. And there are also like a lot of little superstitions that I like to believe in.
And what might they be?
일단 에너지 드링크를 꼭
A couple of rituals. First, I always drink energy drinks on match days. Secondly, once I put on some cooling oil. It's like kind of like Bengay, but in oil form, on my hands, and we did really well that day, so now I put it on before every match day. And third, my hand gets kind of sweaty, so I bring a London Spitfire hand towel up on stage every time we play.
Birdring is a little different from the others and probably the rest of us, and he prefers to have less time snoozing rather than more.
저 같은 경우에 이제 경기 전날에
For me personally, I think I perform a little bit better and focus better on stage if I'm very slightly sleep deprived. So I like to not sleep as much on game days to ensure that, I have that focal point on the match.
제가 느끼는 대로 그냥 좀 잠을 적게 자는 편이에요.
Once they get into an event, the fight has only just begun, and the team all have different ways of tackling in-game stresses and tilt. Fury is all about making sure the rest of the team is okay.
경기가 좀 잘 안 풀릴 때는
For me personally, I don't generally get tilted whether the match goes our way or not. So I guess, for me at least, rather than thinking about myself in those situations, I think about what my teammates must be feeling and how to guide them through the match.
주의 살필 것 같아요.
Birdring's technique is also to make sure that the team as a whole is working together as best it can.
경기가 말려.
When I'm not performing well, I think it might be due to conditions, so that one might be a little tough. But when our team is not doing too well, generally, I like to make sure that everyone is, just reignite the sort of you can do it mentality to everyone and make sure everyone's like talkative once again so that we can like right the ship and win the match.
And finally, given that Overwatch is never the same, London Spitfire, like every other team, constantly have to battle the changing meta to stay ahead of the game. Birdring says it's all about being in the right mindset to learn fast.
오버워치 같은 경우에 이제 메타가
I think that a lot of players may have a hard time adapting to the meta in Overwatch, because Overwatch is a game where the meta, changes overnight even sometimes. Constant meta shifts are happening. For me personally, I played a lot of variety of heroes since the beginning of the game, so I don't really have an issue with that. And even if a new hero comes out, I just think that you have to get into that mentality of learning and just make sure that you study the hero and put a lot of time into practicing it.
다뤄야 될 때는 좀 그냥 최대한 많이 연습하거나 아니면 누구를 몰아주거나 영웅 그런 편이죠.
So that's what it's like to be a part of London Spitfire. Let us know what kind of esports content you'd like from us in the future in the comments below. Drop us a like if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe to Logitech G for more videos just like this one. If you do already subscribe, ring that notification bell to make sure you know when our next video drops.